Hello.
And welcome back
To
Sick.
See you next Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday.
That's all we've got for you.
That's it. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Have a good week.
No, but so
That was a little prank.
that was a prank. We're actually here to talk about something.
So true.
So, we're getting into April and
Yeah, we are.
we're getting into the time when like actual movies start being released.
Exactly. We've been in the weird like post-Oscars rut,
Yes,
but now we're back and better than ever.
we are. And recently Annabel and I went to see separately, not together because
No.
we would never do that.
Because I would literally never be caught dead in the same
We'd
room as Ben.
rather die.
100%.
We went and saw Alex Garland's new Civil War.
Yes, we did. Starring Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst.
Ew.
Also starring so many other people, like her husband,
Jesse Plemons.
the guy who was in charge of the Parks and Rec department.
Ron Swanson.
What is his job title in Parks and Rec?
Mr. Parks and Rec. I literally don't know.
I don't even know.
Director. I think director.
Nick
Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
Promoted to
Kaylee
President of the
Spaney.
United States. Kaylee Spaney.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of anyone else in the cast. I don't.
The guy, the other lead guy, I feel like.
He gives familiar, but I couldn't pick his name out of a lineup.
So I'll give you his name.
Give
It's
it to me.
Wagner Mora. I could be pronouncing that wrong.
Wagner.
It very well
Could be. Is he German?
I can't. But so he has been in just like a weird amount of stuff, but he's been in quite a lot.
Hit me with some of his hits.
I will gladly hit you with some of his hits. He's
me.
a Brazilian actor, and he did start out, I think, in Brazil, or at least working in non-English speaking films and TV. But then he slowly worked his way into the big everybody's watching him. Some of the hits are Elysium with Matt Damon.
Yep.
And Jodie Foster. He was in The Gray Man with Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans.
Yeah.
He was in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Oh, I know him.
We know you work very well.
You've got me in. Okay, celebrity.
He's also in 20 episodes of Narcos as Pablo
Sure.
Escobar.
Oh, I've heard of him.
Yep. And then he was in the new Mr. and Mrs. Smith TV show.
Oh, I want to watch that.
But yeah, so he's been in a decent amount.
He's been about town.
And he was in this.
There we go.
And the other big one is Stephen McKinley Henderson, who
Who'd he
played their friend that they brought along with them. Sammy was his name.
Sure. Oh, okay. Yeah?
Yeah, he's in, like, I want to say everything under the sun. Like, he's in so much.
Okay.
I could give you his hits, but it would take us too long, I think.
I'll just do a personal Google.
That's okay. I'll give you some, like, big ones.
Okay.
Just, like, movies that I know you've seen. Manchester by the Sea.
Oh, sure.
Fences, Lady Bird.
Yeah. Okay.
Dune.
Okay. Yeah.
Causeway, Beau is Afraid, Dune Part 2.
Cool.
So
I've actually not seen Dune, but I've seen everything else.
okay, well, he's in the Dune movies too, the new ones. But
yep, I've seen Part 2.
He's in quite a lot too. But
Love.
so why don't you just tell me what the movie's about?
Ben, no.
I know you love to do it, so give it to me.
Okay. Please jump in at any time.
Okay.
Like the beginning, for instance. No, I'll start. I'll kick us off. It's set sometime in the near future. Nick Offerman is the President of the United States, a title that I feel naturally befits him.
I agree.
Yeah, I'd actually love to see it. Maybe not in this universe, because I don't think he's doing a great job, but in our current universe, I think it'd kill.
And it's important to note that he is on his third term.
He is on his third term. So, like, it's clearly something's happening. The government's kind of taken a totalitarian turn. Because famously for non-Americans, the American presidential term can only be 2 terms. You can only serve twice and then you're out. Unlike Australia, where you can literally be prime minister
forever
for the entirety of your life. And a civil war has broken out within America, hence the title. And we're like balls deep in this civil war, right? It's been going on for a bit.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. And just like what comes up for you when you imagine a civil war? Lots of fighting, lots of guns, lots of danger. And Kirsten Dunst is a photographer. She's a little on-the-go field photographer, taking photos of everything. People dying, people killing, that kind of thing. Hayley Spaney, I don't actually know who she is at the beginning of the film. She's just like a little girl.
She's an aspiring photojournalist, I guess.
We discover, yes. She meets Kirsten Dunst when she saves her life, and is like, whoa, I love you. Can I shadow you for a bit? Kirsten Dunst is like, cool, yeah, whatever. But then like she just like shows up and kind of like comes along for the ride and goes to DC with them.
So yeah, they're making their way to DC. Kirsten Dunst and her colleague, who is Wagner Moura, are planning to interview the president.
Yes.
And so they're taking
heading to DC.
Sort of a long way
scenic
from
route.
New York to DC. They bring along their previous mentor, Sammy.
Yes.
Who Kirsten Dunst is very hesitant on bringing anybody along, but she allows for Sammy to go. And then there's also Hayley Spaney, who is a aspiring photojournalist.
Wide-eyed, bushy-tailed, aspiring.
Yes, exactly. She doesn't quite know what she's getting herself into.
Absolutely not, but she kind of loves it.
Mm-hmm. And so, they're making their way to Washington, D.C., and they come across many different people and many different situations on dealing with the Civil War as they're going. There's a lot that happens in that road trip.
A lot of harrowing images.
Yes, and you see a lot of bad, you see some good. It's just really showing you sort of like the world of what happens when
a
war
little
break
like
out.
Dystopic flash forward.
And so do we like spoil it, or should we sort of just like leave it at that? I feel like we're going to end up spoiling it later.
I have a problem where I tend to just spoil.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to have to like talk about this movie by spoiling it anyways. So
yes.
So essentially they make their way to
it to DC.
DC,
the capital.
And as they are following the other side into the White House where they're planning on murdering the president, they Kirsten Dunst's character ends up getting in the crossfire because she tries to save Hayley Spaney's character, and she is shot.
And then
dead.
Hayley Spaney takes a photo.
She takes the photo, and she also gets the photo of the president being murdered.
Yes.
And that's how the movie ends.
That is indeed.
So I guess just right off the bat, this is an Alex Garland movie, which we were talking about him earlier.
Yes.
I mean, you've seen most of his work.
I've seen a good.
He doesn't have that many movies. I've seen every single movie he's made.
Intentionally or just unintentionally?
I mean, it definitely started unintentionally, and then it became intentional because I sort of around when Annihilation came out was when I was like, love this, and I want to see everything he's ever done.
Annihilation
which literally,
kills.
I think after I'd watched Annihilation, the only movie that I hadn't seen by him was actually Sunshine, I think. And plus, like, that has a huge cast, and so
insane.
But yeah, so he's got
some runs on the board.
Post-apocalyptic world type deal.
For sure. He's lived there before.
Yeah, he's got the 28 days later, 28 weeks later.
Yep. Imogen.
Even Never Let Me Go is sort of a post-apocalyptic movie.
Would we say that that's his little niche?
I think that that's what he does best. It's sort of like a world building. It's like a world that doesn't quite exist, but it very well could.
Yeah, it's dystopian, but not like too dystopian.
Yeah.
Like it's like give it 10 years, not even.
No, genuinely. That's how this movie felt. It was very much like this could be modern day, like easily.
Yeah, that's why I felt like it was a very close warning. Because a lot of dystopian stuff, like, well, like 100 years down the line, if we don't like clean up the environment, this is what will happen. But no, this is like this will happen. It's our impending future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing I loved about this movie, I've actually seen some people have differing opinions on this.
I've seen quite a bit of letterboxed discourse.
Yeah. And so the one thing that really stood out overall for it was how objective the whole movie was.
I very much agree, because like it was very clear that there were two different sides, but it wasn't like one side were Republicans and one side were Democrats. I didn't really know which side was going for.
You're never even told like, oh, there's a good and there's a bad. That's not even like, there's never somebody's good and somebody's bad. That doesn't ever happen. And I've seen a lot of people online say that they didn't like that and that that's like a cowardly approach. But my whole thing about this movie is we're looking at it from the point of view of photojournalists.
Yeah.
And obviously like good news is unbiased. And so if we're going to follow these photojournalists along on the journey of taking photos of this civil war, I think it's probably best that it would be not good and bad and sort of just see the chaos. You see the horrible things that it's doing on both sides, and it doesn't even matter if there's good or bad because both sides are doing horrible things.
That's very true. I also feel like the whole like the general point of like dystopian fiction is to be a warning. If it is very much like shoving down the message of like Republican bad, Democrat good, then you're going to alienate half of your audience, and that then like an impact is not going to be made. An impact is going to be made like 50% with 50% of people. So if you want your impact to be bigger, then don't be like this side is good and this side is bad.
Yeah. I think it was very strong in the anti-war message, and I think it really, really portrayed that effectively.
Absolutely. I watched it and I said, I don't want to go anywhere near a war zone. I'm good, quite frankly.
Maybe I don't want War
I'm
III.
good. Yeah. I was on the fence, personally.
I
But
don't quite know.
after this, you tipped me.
Yeah. But so, yeah, that's, I think, what my biggest, like, takeaway from this movie was, and I thought,
that was one of my little notes. I thought that it was, like, very clever that they didn't actually make it about like real world current politics, because that feels unnecessary. There's enough discourse about that.
And if anybody's like super like one-sided, it might give them a moment of reflection and like, I don't know. It's just look at all the horrible things that are happening when you're so militant and so for violence, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It's like at the end of the day, does it really matter what you're arguing about, because this is the effect of that on everyone else.
Yes.
I mean, I think I always have said, like, growing up, I just, like, haven't understood war. Like, I don't get it. I was like, how come murder's illegal, but that, like, sometimes it's just, like, not? And my mom was like, that's such a good question, I don't get it.
You are a good person, probably. I think that's what that means.
Thank you so much. And thank you for saying probably. Thank you for adding that caveat. Really appreciate it.
I don't want to, like, give it to you because I don't quite know. Like, maybe there's other things that could lead to that.
That's true. Put me in a war zone, like maybe I'll go crazy. Maybe I'll be like, this is my passion.
And also, I think it might be because you're a woman.
So I actually can't participate.
I mean, let's think about it. All wars have been started by men.
That's true. I couldn't be enlisted.
They're definitely, I mean, you can, okay.
I could work in the war zone kitchen. I could be a nurse. And that's where I have to call it a day. It's the law. That. Yeah.
Oh my God, you know what I wanted to really compare this movie to?
What? The Civil War?
No. Well, I mean, yes. But also, I was like, this is a really good anti-war film. You know what's not a really good anti-war film? War is over. Okay, literally, that was gonna be my Letterboxd review. I was like, War is Over wishes it was this film. Oscar winner, War is Over.
Academy Award winner, Peace, War is Over by John Lennon.
Yeah, I was like, this is how you do an anti-war
This
film.
This is it.
Take notes.
I would be so embarrassed if I were them.
They're not embarrassed. They have an Oscar.
They have an Oscar. Yeah, they're laughing all the way to the Academy, actually. They're doing just fine.
And also, you know what? It's sort of, okay, don't think too much. Not so much twin, but sister reminded me of this movie. Like, it's not its twin, but its sibling, maybe.
I thought you meant Sisters, starring Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. You're like, not
movie.
twins with Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger, but Sisters starring Tina Fey and Amy Poehler is so Civil War. I was like, they do get into a fight. You're actually so right. They do have a falling out.
No,
I get it.
I'm going to say what this movie reminds me of a little bit. And I don't want you to be like, oh, it's its twin. It's more of like its like sibling.
Zone of Interest.
Yes.
Because I thought the exact same thing.
Oh my God. Okay. For a second, I was scared to even say it because I thought you were going to say I was crazy.
No, because it's like focusing on it from a like more removed perspective. I swear to God, I had that in my notes. It was like a less completely removed version of that, but yeah, because they're like fully just like objectively taking photos of like horrific things, so it's from the protective barrier of behind the lens, you know.
And the other thing was, it's so like Zone of Interest. It's not, there's not a ton of dialogue in the movie, and also just like in a filmmaking perspective, there's a huge narrative behind it that we obviously know is happening behind the scenes, but we don't see.
But we're not
all
at the forefront. Yeah, we're viewing it from like an alternative perspective.
Which I'm so glad you agreed. I was literally scared to say it because you're gonna be like, no, it's not, or something. But okay,
I fully agree. I either put that in my notes or heavily considered putting it in my notes.
Yeah, I literally wrote down. I was like, reminds me of Zone of Interest.
Yeah.
But yeah. And another thing in a filmmaking perspective that I thought this movie was just masterful at was the cinematography.
Yeah.
Was unreal.
Insane. Also, like, after every event, like seeing the photos that they're taking.
Yeah.
As well.
Not only is it just insanely clever, but it's like, it was like beautiful. There were some things like, I think it did a really good job of, it was like in moments of literal hell, they would have these absolutely stunning
photos,
shots. Like when they are hiding from the unknown man in the house. And we just see Kirsten Dunst lay in a bed of flowers, and it's these beautiful shots of like these small blue flowers and her laying behind them. And I was like, whoa, this is like beautiful.
Juxtaposition.
Another one was when Sammy, their mentor, he ends up getting shot. And
God, that scene was rough.
That whole
Jesse
scene,
Plemons, you racist.
I know. Jesse Plemons, we're coming for you. You're a redhead. You think you can act like that?
Yeah, really? You ranga? You're a minority. Show some respect to your fellow minorities.
The scene following that where they're driving him.
Yeah.
They're driving through this fire. And there's all of the like ashes and the embers flying around them as this beautiful country song is playing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this like the most devastating thing ever has just happened. And
now
we're
there's
seeing like the most beautiful
scenery,
imagery in the world.
Yeah. But so I feel like this whole film is kind of playing with like being desensitized to the war and stuff like that, especially because it's like become their life and whatever. So I guess that kind of like plays into that. Like you see something completely horrific and then like moments later we've moved past her and we're looking at scenery.
Yeah, it's true. And in a way it's sort of like life goes on and you can't really stop it. Like, what are you going to do? Mm-hmm.
I was like, is the whole like war photography thing and like viewing it from their perspective and stuff, like, is that commentary on like social media?
That's a good point. I mean,
because I was like, they're giving influencer. There's a dead body and they're just like taking a photo.
Yeah, I mean, photojournalists exist, and like,
they do exist, but you'd have to have a certain kind of disposition to have that job.
Yeah, very much.
And then like fully from doing it for years, you would become desensitized to.
I was gonna say, I feel like if you do look at it without the like ever going war happening in the background and you just look at it as what's happening, totally see it as like a take on like modern day social media.
That's kind of what I was like, is this commentary? Is this social media commentary?
So much sense. And another reason why I delete it once a month, because it's like the people on there are just blind to what's actually happening.
Yeah, like there's a lot of safety in hiding behind a lens and hiding behind a phone. It's like fully a barrier.
And it's like the whole, I don't know, like we were literally talking today about like people bullying people for not speaking up about like war going on in other countries. And my thought is like, they're literally like a comedian on the internet. Why don't you like reach out to your politicians and try and get them to do something? What is one person on the internet going to do?
Also, because if a comedian on the internet wasn't completely informed and said something and took a misstep, then they would also be under fire.
Exactly.
So it feels like a lose-lose situation.
It's like, it's genuinely, same with like the internet bullying Elizabeth Olsen off of the internet after Chadwick Boseman died.
Did they?
They did. Because
really?
she had
didn't,
not
like,
posted
post a memorial
like
thing?
a rest in peace.
What?
And they bullied her so hard that she literally deleted her accounts.
That's insane, because she's the one who would have had a personal relationship with him.
She's the one mourning, not
exactly.
you.
What she doesn't owe random people who have never met him a I miss you post.
Yep. Is
a
that
black
not crazy?
square. That's insane.
So the people on social media are just blind to what the real big issue is when it comes to like things like that. So
exactly, like a post is
see.
worth more than human feeling. Yeah.
Freaking ridiculous. But yeah, that's a really good point. I never even thought about that.
Yeah. I honestly, while I was watching it, I was like, influencers.
Yeah, they do totally. They're just like, ooh.
Yeah, especially like Kaylee Spaney, like as she kept going through it, like at first she was like shocked and scared by what was going on, and then she was like, I've never felt more alive. And I was like, what's wrong with you, babe? Like, that's such a privileged position to be like, look at all these people dying. I've never felt more alive.
Yeah, no, literally.
Shut up.
Yeah.
But I actually would like to say, if we're gonna like pivot into the performances a little bit,
I was literally gonna say, can we do that?
We can, because I need to apologize to Kaylee Spaney. I've been so mean to her. I think on this podcast I once was mean to her, but I've definitely been mean to her off camera. I have seen her in a lot of things and I'm like, untalented, can't move her face, can't do anything. I loved her in this. She killed.
I kid you not, Annabel. I literally wrote down, Annabel needs to apologize to Kaylee Spaney.
Kaylee, if you're watching this, I am so sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm not going to take back what I've said about your previous work. I still stand by that. But you've got so much better and you've killed. Yeah. Previously, I used to think either gave nothing and it was a bad performance or a performance that anyone could give. But in this one, I said, I would hire you. You were picked for a reason.
Are you just jealous that she's a month older than you?
I'm disgusted that she's a month older than me because she looks like my child.
She does look so young.
She looks like a newborn baby.
She really does. She's got the baby face, and I want to know when it will go away.
I'd love to know. But also, you can't tell me she was good in Mare of Easttown.
She's barely in Mare of Easttown, first of all.
And thank God.
She, like, literally is in 2 scenes.
She's in some flashbacks?
Yeah. That was my one extra scene that I counted.
She's horrendous in The Craft.
I do not.
She's fine in Priscilla.
So this was before Priscilla.
This was before Priscilla?
And
really?
Kirsten Dunst got her the role on Priscilla.
Really?
Yeah.
I love Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah, because she, obviously, I mean, Kirsten Dunst very clearly knows Sofia Coppola very well, considering they've done multiple movies together.
Because she committed suicide when she was a virgin.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I believe Kaylee Spaney auditioned and Kirsten Dunst sort of put a good word
advocated for her
after they'd worked on this movie together.
And I can see why, Kirsten. From seeing this, I absolutely would put in a good word. Crazy that she went from that to that, though.
She got hired on like the last day of filming Civil War.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she was a bit more muted because she was nervous to be in the presence of Jacob Elordi.
And also, like, Sofia Coppola, you know, and it's like a huge, like, everybody knows Priscilla Presley, so it's like...
Yeah, and also, like, I don't know, when was Priscilla filmed? Had Elvis come out?
I feel like Elvis would have come out.
Because like coming off the back of that as well, like I'd be nervy. Because when I saw the ad for Priscilla, I was like, what the hell are you doing? And then I watched it and I was like, oh, she has a valid story.
So when did they film? When did Elvis come out?
2022.
They started filming Priscilla late 2022.
Okay, Elvis came out when I was in Australia, so like June 2022.
Okay, they started filming in October. So
okay, so like, yeah, that had just come out. It got insane buzz. Everyone was like, give Austin Butler an Oscar.
Yeah.
This was before we realized that he just became Elvis for the rest of his life.
It's like big shoes to fill, so maybe she's just a little held back.
Yeah, and also Jacob Elordi's literally 12 times her height. Imagine having to do a scene with someone that much taller than you.
Literally. But no, she was phenomenal in this.
She's so good in this, and I fully apologize. I'm so sorry.
And obviously, Kirsten Dunst was unreal.
Insane. I love her.
She had so many. She had like an interesting character with like weird mannerisms, because like we said, there's not a lot of dialogue, so she had like a lot of like weird tics that she would do with her face, and literally sometimes I was just like chills.
What do you have any like in particular, or just
there was a lot of things that she would do with like her eyes, specifically movement wise, and like her like with like her cheekbones and like squinting and like all that, and I'd be like, there's so much emotion in like the tiniest movement that she's doing right now. She was phenomenal, but she's so good.
She is good. And also like she did not need to have the career that she did. You know what I mean? Like she started off as a little like teen queen, little teen movie icon, which she slaughters at. Bring it on, cinematic masterpiece. But like now she's just become like such a good serious actress.
No, genuinely. I mean, you know, she got that Oscar nom.
Yeah, she did.
For Power of the Dog.
Yeah, she did.
I think she's gonna have an Oscar in the future very soon.
Coming soon. You heard it here first. And
I feel like it's been sort of like a Kirsten Dunst
Sorry,
renaissance.
what was that?
I said Kristen. I feel like there's like Kirsten Dunst renaissance.
I agree. On. Was she like? Was there some drama? Was she shunned by Hollywood for a bit? Because it felt like it.
Or did she like stop to like have her kids and raise her kids?
That kind of thing. If it's her choice, then I'm fine with it. Do what you want, babe. But if it was Hollywood,
in 2019, there's literal like stuff about her saying that she feels as though she's ignored by Hollywood.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, I swear to God, I remember that law.
There was a 2-year hiatus she took and everything.
Slander. Yeah.
Because she said she was only offered sad mom roles.
Yeah. Okay.
But she,
and I was gonna say, because the roles that she's got now are like a lot of depth, a lot of range. Like she's got her pick, which is crazy for women.
I think that I'm excited to see. I feel like we're on like a whole new trajectory of her career, and I'm so excited to see
I'm also so excited.
Like what she's gonna do next.
I also love that her and Jesse Plemons are just like always in each other's stuff. That's so cute. I think
it's the cutest thing ever.
I love them.
Genuinely the cutest couple in the world.
No, they're so cute. Especially because like when I like saw that they got married, I was like, she's so nice. She's so nice. This is before I'd like really seen Jesse Plemons in anything. I was like, whoa. And then I saw her and I was like, I get it. What, you're telling me he's
personally offended?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that you knew him.
You're gonna slander Landry from Friday Night Lights.
Oh, sure. Okay, look, I have only seen the pilot. Okay. No, okay, I'd seen him in Game Night. And I was like, she's married to... I love him in Game Night. But I was like, she's married to that guy? That's so funny. But no, I love them. I'm obsessed with them. Also,
I understand.
He is kind of hot.
Oh, he's such a good-looking guy.
I think I also saw photos of him in Friday Night Lights, but imagine the first time you've seen the man is Game Night.
I'll give that one to you.
Thank you.
Just because everything in Game Night is just him, specifically his character, the way he looks. It's rough. So I'll give you that one.
Yeah. So I was like, that's crazy. But then like I saw him in other stuff, and also recently he's looking great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all of the promo he did with Elizabeth Olsen for Love and Death.
Yeah.
Looked bomb.
Yeah. No, he's just an incredible actor.
Oh, he's also a great actor, great talent, you know, all that.
But I was
love
going to
him.
bring up, I was looking up Kirsten Dunst's upcoming.
Yes.
She only has one upcoming announced, and it's in post-production, which means they already filmed it.
Yes.
It's called Rhubarb.
Oh, like the vegetable?
It's a drama about two adult siblings who try their best to navigate the individual and shared grief following their beloved dog's death.
No.
I don't think she plays one of the siblings, though.
Okay. That sounds awful.
Yeah.
That sounds horrific.
I'm interested. Haley Ram and Charlie McDermott are, I think, the siblings because they also wrote it.
Oh, okay. Is it based on their life?
I don't know. Maybe they're siblings in real life, actually. I have no idea. I know him.
Yeah, me too. I don't know her.
I don't think I know her, though. But they might be just siblings and they're writing this movie about...
Is Rhubarb the name of the dog?
Probably. That would be my guess.
I'm so sad. I hate that.
Yeah, but that's the only thing she has coming up that we know of.
Okay. Well, Kirsten, if you're looking for work, we could make something together.
We would love to.
Yeah.
We can talk about it on the pod.
Come on, we'll brainstorm. At the end of the hour that you're on, we'll have a movie pitch.
Yes. Oh my God. Amazing.
Let's make it happen.
But back to Civil War.
Civil War.
One thing I was also just like blown away by was the whole stadium set.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? Did they CGI it to look abandoned? I was just like, this is a stadium, like a huge stadium. Like, how did they do this? That's a real abandoned stadium in Georgia.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And you can fully like just Google the pictures and it's 100%. It is exactly what it was.
That's kind of scary.
I've never seen anything like that before. I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah. I want to go. Should we?
Yeah.
Road trip?
I think we're gonna have to go to Georgia now. We'll do a tour of all the filming locations because they're all East Coast.
Let's do a Civil War tour. Easy. Yeah, I mean, DC.
We'll do a pod up. It's just us.
Stop. And we'll record
a new
every single
episode at every location.
Yeah.
Why
I love
would
that.
Be so fun though.
That would be so fun. And when we get to DC, we'll do one with Biden.
We're done. That's
He'll be
gonna
down.
happen. And then I think the pod has to end at that point because
I think so too, because where can we go from there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then another thing that I found really fun and interesting and read about when I was doing my deep dive is that Kaylee Spaney actually took the photos that you see in the movie. Mm-hmm.
People's Letterboxd reviews make a lot of sense.
What were they saying? Oh my gosh.
They weren't even like good reviews, actually. They were quite descriptive. They were like, actress and photographer. And I was like, okay. I was like, yeah, she's playing a photographer, but I guess like that's crazy.
She actually took the pics.
Good for her. I've been underestimating that girl.
Woman of many talents.
I hesitate to say woman, but she literally is. She is a woman.
She's older than you.
I hate that. I'm actually going to need to see a birth certificate, Kaylee.
I know. I'm not believing it. It's like the girl from Euphoria. What's her name?
Sydney Sweeney.
Nope, the other one.
Hunter Schafer.
Nope, the other one.
Maud Apatow.
No, the other one.
Zendaya.
Alexa Demi.
Oh, yeah.
And how nobody like knew her age.
Yeah, isn't she like 45?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. And the other thing I loved about this movie was the soundtrack.
I Shazammed some songs. It was so diverse. Like it was. Yeah.
It was like every single genre was put in there. And it was so fun.
It was so fun. And because you told me when you went to see it, the only thing I really heard, you were like, love the movie. We'll wait for the pod to talk about it. Love the soundtrack. Yeah. And I was like, okay. But then we talk about a lot of movies. So when I got to sit down and I like Shazammed a couple of songs and I was like, wait, this is probably the movie Ben was telling me had a good soundtrack.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
And you're right.
No, it's so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't even looked at my notes. I'm going to pull them up. Did I delete them? No, I didn't. We're fine. I found them.
Okay, thank God.
Most personality I've ever seen Kaylee have. This was at the very beginning before I even saw her whole performance. But like, I think she said like 3 words and I was like, oh, okay facial expressions.
Yeah, I know.
Come true.
She was giving. She was
She was
giving a lot.
giving. Yeah, and like I liked her. I actively liked the presence that she brought to the screen, which I can't say I've experienced before. The Christmas lot that they go to where they hear the gunshots.
Oh, like the light drive-through at the golf course?
Gave Knobles.
Stop, because we literally drove through the Christmas lights 100%. That's so funny. And I actually, like, in my head, I was like, oh, I've been to like one of these before.
And I've been to exactly one of them before. I was like, whoa, that's America's so crazy. Funny. Do you think they were in Pennsylvania?
I want to say no.
I also want to say no, but I also want to say yes.
I want to say yes for like my own peace of mind.
Me too. In the scene where Jesse Plemons is there in like borderline Lolita glasses, feeling a little racist. I said that it was nice of him to shoot the least important character first.
Of course. Like, I know.
That's like it's really thoughtful.
Kaylee Spaney and this like unimportant guy next to each other.
We've just met.
He's like picking to shoot one. Of course he's going to shoot the unimportant character and not Kaylee Spaney.
I was like, that's so nice of you, Jesse.
But also maybe he thought she was like 10 years old. So he's like, I can't.
No, 100%. But then I also said like, you know, what, like him doing that's like awful and racist and disgusting. But why on God's great earth would that guy say, I'm from Hong Kong?
I was literally thinking that after one, he's been blatantly racist for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, he was like, I just need to hear somewhere in America. Tell me somewhere English speaking. And he says, Hong Kong.
And he was upset. Obviously, the guy, Jesse was upset when somebody said Florida, saying that like, that's barely American. Uh-huh. So then you go and say Hong Kong.
He took a Missouri. He took a Colorado. He says Hong Kong.
I literally was so annoyed. I was like, honestly, like he had it coming. He asked for it.
Yeah. I would have said like Maine.
No, I'd be like Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. I'd keep my mouth shut, personally. Yeah. And I'm barely foreign. So that was crazy.
You just, in an Australian accent, are like Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania? I'm more Australian than I ever have been in my life. New York.
Although you're from an English-speaking country, so he might...
That's true, but I don't know. I wouldn't risk it personally.
I know, it could go either way for you.
Because Jesse Plemons, love the man, looks like Hitler Youth.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah. Actually, he and Kirsten Dunst as a couple look like Hitler Youth.
They do, the blonde and the...
Yeah. I'm so glad that they're such nice people because they really could not be.
No, yeah.
They have the potential to not be. It could go another way. It could go the other way. Yeah.
I know. I mean, I'm fine because I know I'd survive Jesse Plemons if he came up to me with a gun.
Oh, you'd be so fine. Pennsylvania?
He'd be like, keep going, baby.
You're right. All American.
That's going to be a new game I ask all my friends. Like, will Jesse Plemons kill you?
Shoot you. Yeah. I'm on the border. Like, who knows?
Yeah, I genuinely don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like you'd be like a roulette.
That's true. But I'd lie. I would have lied. Unlike him. Yeah. I wouldn't have said Sydney.
Would you put on an American accent and say like Kansas?
Kansas.
Lawrence, Kansas.
Or North Carolina.
I'm from North Carolina.
I'm from North Carolina, Marshland.
That. He'd probably love that.
He'd be like, same. Yeah.
Oh, do you know?
I grew up with her. I'd be absolutely fine. I'd really commit to the bit.
Yeah.
I also made an important point. I actually don't know how to say her name. Sonoya Mizuno? La La Land. English.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it, but yes.
Well, that was the extent of the point. Just she's in the film.
Oh. Yeah, she was in the film.
Yeah. I was like, Little Miss England from La La Land. You made it.
I feel like she comes up in the most random stuff.
She does. And from what I've seen, she's not great.
She's like fine.
I don't know. I don't believe her.
Okay, I was just going to say this. She's in Ex Machina.
Yes.
And Annihilation.
Okay. Yeah.
So her and Alex Garland are probably like...
tight.
lovers, maybe? I don't
I
even
think
know.
so. Surely she slept her way to the top. And good for her. I'm not disparaging that. If I was in a position to, who knows?
Yeah.
So good for her.
Oh, she was also in Men.
I did know that. Yeah.
Yeah, she's been in 5 of Alex Garland's works.
That's kind of crazy. That's a lot.
Yeah. She was fine in this. Like, it was, but also it wasn't like anything that
She had
I'm
one
gonna
line.
talk about. Yeah.
She had one line about the press. I wrote it down. Oh, Little Miss Press with one line. I'm so sorry she was bad.
That's so funny. I'm sorry she was bad.
Whoopsies. Then yeah, love the lack of political specifics. Photography went crazy. Glorified influences.
I feel like I'd love to talk about Kirsten Dunst's death for a moment.
Let's talk about it.
So, to begin with, they hardcore foreshadowed it, which I literally in the first, I think it was literally like the first 10 minutes of the movie, I was like, well, she's dying.
Yeah.
Because there's the scene where she's talking to her partner and she goes, every time that I've survived a shooting at a war zone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so every time you survived, meaning you're not going to survive the final one.
This is it.
And she didn't.
Yeah. We also needed someone big to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it had to be her.
It had to be her. Especially because like there's a new up and comer to take her place.
I was gonna say, she'll
Circle of
replace
life,
her.
baby.
It's fine.
Yeah, life goes on.
The one thing I didn't like about the death was I feel as though there was sort of a lack of emphasis.
Honestly, yeah. If I looked away, I could have probably missed it.
Yeah. And
it was very quick.
In a way, I'm like, okay.
That's impactful.
I was going to say that's impactful because this is like, we're into the middle of a war. So her death means almost
insignificant.
Nothing.
Also, like, yeah, loss, like, just like not paying attention to the loss of human life in general and being desensitized to that, I guess. Like, we've been following her this entire movie. We've formed a personal connection to her. She's gone, whatever.
Which I'm like, is that intentional? But then when we go to Sammy's death, he gets like this grandiose funeral.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what was the real intention? I don't know.
People don't care about women.
However, they had that like insanely beautiful shot of when Kirsten Dunst gets murdered and then Kaylee Spaney like sits up after taking the photo with the camera following her. I was like, oh my God.
That was crazy.
So good.
Yeah. Also, Nick Offerman died.
Oh yeah, they killed the president.
Yeah, he's in the first scene and the last scene.
Yeah, they had like some fun little cameos because Nick Offerman and Jesse Plemons apparently like adamantly said they were not in this movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Did people guess that Nick Offerman was in this movie?
I don't know about Nick, but definitely Jesse.
I was gonna say Jesse. I understand why people would have thought it. Also, wasn't he in the ad?
I think he was. Well, I mean, I think this was way before the trailer had ever dropped.
I was gonna say because when that scene came up, I was like, I feel like I've seen this before. I definitely remember the little Lolita glasses.
Because I remember going in and being like, oh yeah, Jesse Plemons is here. When's he gonna show up?
Yeah, when he came up, I wasn't surprised. When Nick Offerman came up, I was like, oh, hey.
Yeah, I think the whole thing was like before trailers had dropped.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also just like the guilt that Kaylee Spaney's character will live with for the rest of her life.
I know. But also, I'm like, what if she doesn't have any?
Because
she's been getting more and more heartless as it was going on.
However,
I was like, what if she's like, whatever, my
based
slut.
on her reaction, that there's going to be some guilt. I know personally that I would probably...
I don't at all. I'm going to actually be honest. I wouldn't have made it.
No.
I'd be dead.
You wouldn't have made it to DC.
Yeah, there's no way.
Jesse Plemons would have shot you anyway.
Jesse Plemons would have killed me if I made it there. If not, I would have shot myself in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm making it past the first 10 minutes if I'm being completely honest. But living with that guilt, impossible.
No, she is going... Because Kaylee Spaney selfishly runs into the middle of crossfire to take a photo.
Another thing I would never do.
And Kirsten Dunst sees it and runs to push her out of the way, and in the meanwhile gets shot doing so.
Yeah.
So Kirsten Dunst went down trying to save Kaylee Spaney.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally know that it would be years of therapy and I still would not be over it.
No, yeah. Your dumb decision killed Academy Award nominee Kirsten Dunst. Killed star of Bring It On, Kirsten Dunst. Torrance.
Yeah, she's... Yeah. Honestly, why didn't she go? They took the wrong girl.
I'm so serious. Yeah. Before watching this movie and seeing this performance, easily I would have said take the bullet, Kaylee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just think that I had some mixed feelings about her death, that it almost made me bring the rating down a little bit, honestly.
Yeah, so what rating did you give it, Ben?
I did, in fact, give it a 10 out of 10. That's 5 out of 5.
Yeah, that's 100%. That's full marks.
That's 100%. It can't go higher.
It cannot, quite frankly.
And I am going to put this out there as of April. This is my favorite film of the year, I think.
Whoa.
Or Snack Shack.
Was that a 2024 film or a 2023 film?
I mean, it technically wasn't released until 2024. So
okay, there we go.
I think it might have had like festivals, but
whatever. Let's count it.
It's a 2024 fully.
Let's count it. Cool.
It is.
Yep.
Yeah, it wasn't even released. The first release date of Snack Shack was in 2024. So
there we go.
Yeah.
Now I haven't seen Snack Shack, so I can't speak to that.
Yeah, but what did you give it?
I gave it a 9.
Yeah.
But like a strong 9.
It doesn't say that's high.
Well,
even
okay.
9's high.
It is. Also, when I started like comparing it to Zone of Interest, I was like, which one did I like better? And I think I did like Zone of Interest better. But it's hard to say. There's also no need to compare them. I don't need to do that.
I was gonna say,
there's no gun to my head.
But also, yeah, I was gonna say that would need to be a gun to my head situation, because
and we're actually not in the Civil War, so there's no gun to our heads. Yeah.
I don't know if I'd compare them.
But no, I loved it.
How dare you compare the atrocities of the Civil War to World War II?
Exactly. Every war's a war. Nameless, faceless people dying. War.
That's going on your gravestone with no name.
When I get shot in the war.
It's just gonna be like nameless, faceless person.
Good. So I want to be remembered.
Oh my gosh. No, 9's high though, so it's okay.
Yeah, no, it is high. I don't know if it's my favorite film of the year. What's come out this year?
I was gonna say, especially for this year though, is what I'm saying. Like, we have not had that many good movies come out this year.
Miller's Girl probably would be my number 1.
I think that's probably my number 1 too.
I think that's my number 1. Yeah. But apart from that, I don't think there are any standouts.
I was gonna say, I'm actually going to my stats right now on Letterboxd, and I'm looking at
I'm gonna try and sort them. Can you sort by date?
Just go to your stats and it will show you your highest ratings.
Why do I do that? Stats.
Yeah, so I only have 2 5-star films this year, and it's Civil War and Snack Shack.
Ben, can you go to mine?
Yep.
Mine's not loading. I don't know what's happening.
That's weird. I will do it right now. There she is.
Okay.
Your highest rated film of this year is Dance Life.
Okay. No, it's not. That's a mini series about my dance school.
I think that's your highest rated film then.
It's a mini series.
So other than that, your highest rated film is Civil War.
Okay. Then
then it gets into the 4 stars.
And is Civil War my only 4.5 star?
Civil War is your only 4.5 feature length film.
That's crazy.
You did give My Ride with Uber and Lyft a 4.5.
You know that's by Iowa Devery's father?
Yes, I did know that.
Yeah, it's so cute. You should watch it.
And then you gave One Day a 9, which I also gave One Day a 9.
Oh yeah, One Day killed.
And then other than that, that is your only 9 star.
There we go.
But 9, 9.
Not Dance Life being number 1.
That's your number 1, baby. So when we do the end of year recap, she'll be there.
Number 1. Dance Life is actually really good on Amazon Prime, featuring my ex-dance teacher, Cassie Buther. Watch now.
That'll be the next episode.
Honestly. Also, I would like to put it out there, that Letterboxd entry I created.
Oh my God, did you really?
Yes, and really badly. And now everyone's reviewing it, and I feel bad that I didn't even put a photo.
You can still probably add a photo.
I probably can, but like if you click on it, it looks so bad.
There's no photo yet.
And that's me. So if you've reviewed it, you're welcome.
That's so funny. Comment below if you reviewed it. And
Dance
didn't know
Live,
that
Amazon Prime, let me know.
Annabelle
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, on that note,
Is that?
I feel like that might be it.
That might be all we have.
It's a great movie.
It's really good. Go watch
you should
it.
check it out.
If you're my mother, don't watch it. If you're sensitive to violence, don't watch it. If you're my father, watch it.
So, Donna, don't. Alistair, do.
Absolutely. What about Diane and Keith? Where do they sit?
I think they both would like it.
I was going to guess that they both would like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my mom would like it more than my dad.
Uh-huh.
I think my dad would go into it thinking it's going to be more of a war film.
Right.
And then come out disappointed.
Okay.
But who knows? I'll let you guys know what my parents think when they watch it.
Diane and Keith, sound off in the comments below. Let me know.
Yeah. But no, I feel like it's a really good movie. It's got a powerful message.
It
great acting performances.
Absolutely. And I've seen some annoying people on Letterboxd with some annoying opinions that I just disagree with, quite frankly.
Wait, can you tell me like some of them?
I did see the one about politics.
Yeah. No,
I did see some
disagree.
saying that it doesn't have a message. And I was like, what film did you
I
watch?
don't know if we watched the same movie.
Yeah. I saw one very specific one saying like this feels like a comedy film that was written when Alex was 12 that was then made into a feature-length film, and I was like, what are you on
That
about?
feels very weird
I was like, what film did you
to
watch?
say. Yeah.
No, it was very weird. I'll try and find a screenshot of the review.
The one that you said about it having no message, like to me, that's just like you didn't
Get it.
take English class.
Yeah, like learn what a metaphor is. Learn what an allegory is. I guess if you read the script and didn't take into account anything else, maybe you'd be confused because it's not insanely dialogue heavy. But it's not even like it's super subtle.
No, it's not subtle. You don't really need to think that hard to get it.
No. So I would actually love to see that chess goals. I'd love to see them.
Yeah, it's just that I don't think they got the critical thinking skills of analyzing media that you got in English class.
I think that you're correct. So disregard them, actually.
Yep, ignore them. Only listen to us. Only our opinions matter.
Absolutely. We're kind of like Nick Offerman in this movie. This is a totalitarian society, and 6 See You Next Tuesday opinions go.
We are like Nick Offerman in this movie, except please don't come to our house and kill us.
Don't murder me and take a photo. Please don't. Actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
But other than that, great movie. Go
Great
see
film. Go see it at your local theater.
Yep, that's where it would be.
That's where it will be. AMC, Regal. Events, Hoyts.
My Hoyt's closed.
Oh, I know, I'm so sorry. My Hoyts is open. And
Your Hoyt's
ready
is
for business.
Yeah.
In Broadway, Sydney, Australia.
Yep.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's all we got.
I think that's all we got. I think we're at time.
Time.
Oh. Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap this
Wrap it
baby.
up, baby.
Let's wrap up this baby and put her to bed. All right. Well, maybe I think you should say sick because you're the one who's ill.
Okay, you're so right. All right. Sick.
See you next
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.